This is Lena with Especially Made for Me. So glad you're here with me. Today we're going to be working on a fake bake. It's another name for it. There's also called as Faux desserts, which is a fake dessert. So we're going to be working on this strawberry cake. I know it looks kind of, delicious enough to eat, right? But unfortunately, it's not for eating. It's not consumable, not edible, unfortunately. But this is what we're going to be making today. So I'm going to show you the supplies that we'll need, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So to make this strawberry cake, you're going to need a Styrofoam square. I guess you can get these from the dollar store also. But you can get it as big or as small as you like. The dollar store has them on this size, which is the size that I use for this strawberry cake. So you can see it actually looks a lot bigger once we start adding everything else onto it. And you'll see as we go through the process. But you'll need one of these, or if you're going to make more than one, of course, you're going to need one for each cake. You will need, let's see, it's called Alex Fast Dry. It's a silicone base. I'm going to go ahead and hold it up later when I change the view closer to the top view camera so you'll be able to read it. But it is a Fast Dry Acrylic Latex. So we use this for the frosting part. You're going to also need some lightweight spackle. Okay. And if you don't get the white one like I do, they have one out there that's like an off-white or grayish color. You will need some paint as well to make it white if you want your frosting for decorating to be white. For the pink part, I used this Craft Smart acrylic paint. They have them at the dollar store. They have them at Walmart actually for a little bit less than the Dollar Tree. So you can get the paint that you want to use. Let me see. This one is called Rosemary. Not sure why, but that's the name on this one. That's the pink that I used. And depending on how much or how little you use with your spackle or your Fast Dry Latex, the more pink that you'll get. And of course, just adding more paint makes it darker. So you just got to watch the amount that you use until you get to the color you want. You're also going to need a spatula or something to use to spread the frosting and also to mix it. So you'll need one of those. They do again have a set actually of, because you also need one of these to actually do your decorating. They have a set. This is actually a full set from the Dollar Tree, and it's got the tips and everything on it. So you could do that if you want to use that, or get more than one if you're doing this with the kiddos, just for the fun. And they do have a set of the spatulas. They have like 3 different shapes. It's like 3 in 1 for $1 in a bag. And you're gonna, let's see, you're gonna need your fruits that you're gonna be using. In this case, we're using strawberries. I got these from Amazon. They also have them at the different craft stores. But since I use a lot of them because I've been making a lot of stuff, I kind of get the bigger containers. That's why I have a bigger container of the light spackle as well. But the Dollar Tree has the smaller container. If you're only going to be doing it maybe once or twice, you could also do that. Otherwise, you could also get a smaller container than this at Home Depot or Lowe's or any of those places as well. You're going to need a container to mix your spackle, of course. So you're going to need 2 if you don't get the white lightweight spackle. If you do, then you will need an extra one for mixing the white because you won't need to mix any paint. But for the pink, so that we can do the strawberry cake, you will need a container for sure, so that we can add the spackle and then the paint and get to mixing. Let's see, what else will we need? I think we have everything we need. Oh, no. You're also going to need some parchment paper, so that once you are done putting the spackle on, we'll be able to set our cake on this versus on our table or anything, so it won't stick, because we do have to do all of the sizes, or at least I do. You don't have to do the bottom if you don't want to, but I do all of the sides, and I'll show you that in a second. I normally, I'm gonna go ahead and move the cake here, do a cardboard, and then I just kind of tape mine around just so I can kind of have more stability from when spreading the spackle. But you don't have to do that, and I'll show you, because I'm going to do it without that tonight, just so I can show you that you don't have to have something necessarily sturdy. It just makes it a little bit easier if you're going to be doing everything one-handed and you're not going to be doing with anybody else. But that's all we need. So we're going to go ahead and change the view of the camera so that you'll be seeing the top view, and I'm going to show you how we go through the process so we can make our strawberry cake. So let's see. Alrighty, here is our table. Hopefully you can see everything. So again, we are going to be making our strawberry cake. So I'm going to hold it on the top view camera so you can see it a little bit better from the top. Okay, and I'm going to take it off the plastic or the cardboard and lay it away, just so I won't have to use another piece of parchment paper, because I don't necessarily need it right now. Okay, so the styrofoam is the first thing you'll need so that you'll be we can actually start putting our spackle in there. That is after we mix, of course, our pink. And I've already have it mixed just for sake of time, but I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I just basically mixed the lightweight spackle with the pink until I got the color pink that I wanted. Now you could have it a little bit more pink or use a different pink so it won't be as a brighter of a pink. It's entirely up to you. I'll hold that closer to the top view there so you could also see the texture. Okay, so we're going to need that to cover our square styrofoam. And I have one started because I mentioned I do like to have the bottom as well. So I kind of did the bottom on one side, and I'm going to show you how to spread this, our frosting. I should stop calling it spackle. On the other sides that I haven't done. So that way we'll have all the sides covered. Now you could also just paint, like if you mix your paint ahead of time to match what it looks like with your spackle or your frosting, fake frosting, you can paint the bottom, let it dry, and then go ahead and do everything else. And I just do that just because it just makes it look better to me. In case anybody picks it up, it just gives it a better look. Although normally for a real cake, you don't normally pick it up to look at the bottom, right? So, but so be it. So we're going to do that first, and then we're going to continue from there. So you're going to need your spatula for that, and we're going to go ahead and spread it. Now I did a texture for this one, so if you want it to be smooth, of course you just smooth it out instead of leaving the texture. I like the texture look for the strawberry cake, so that's why it looks like that. But you can definitely smooth it out so that'll be a smooth edging. So all we do is put our fake frosting on and just get enough to be able to spread it. Just like you would basically with a cake. That's what makes it, I guess, fun for me. I love making these, or pretty much any fake bakes. I've been having lots of fun with the brownies, which I'll show you that later as well, and the cupcakes, the cake pops. It's been fun. I've even made some chocolates over for the Valentine's season. Okay, so once we know we have everything covered, then you can smooth it out if you want. Or if you want, like I did, I just kind of leave a texture. I just kind of go back and give it that texture look. As long as everything is covered. Now, just one tip here with the Styrofoam. I used the white one just because I knew I was going to use a light pink. That could help you save on your frosting, your fake frosting. Because then you won't have to do, sometimes with the green, for example, if you're using a light frosting, you may have to do a second coat. Especially if you don't do a real thick coating at the beginning. So if you do something really thin, you may have to go back and actually do it again, just to make sure you give it enough coverage. So then once you have one side, you move on to the next one. So we're just gonna continue on. Isn't this fun? I hope you're able to do this with me. Hopefully you got to see the invite, and I think I put, or at least when I shared it on my personal Facebook page, I think I put what you're gonna need so that maybe you could do it with me. So hopefully I did that, unless I dreamed it. I know on the channel I do put the list on the bottom. Now this doesn't take too long to dry, with it being a light spackle that we're using, and the fast dry for the frosting, which is what we have for the white part, what we'll be using for the white part rather. Okay. Just making sure our corners are covered and giving it that texture. Now again, you don't have to give it the texture if you don't want to. It's with your preference, of course. You can make it smooth all the way around. Okay, one more side. You do have to, I do suggest letting it dry in between steps, just to make sure things don't come off while you're working on something. That's definitely not good. Because then you may have to undo things or start over. So definitely do let it dry in between before starting with your decorating. Okay. Now everything is covered, so I'm just giving it that texture look now. Okay, so we want to make sure we put our dry part towards the bottom so that everything else can dry, and we can let it sit on our parchment paper. Normally I leave it out overnight just to make sure it's completely dry, but it really just takes it a couple of hours or so to dry. It doesn't take it that long. Okay, so I'm not going to make you wait 24 hours. I do have one already dry. Oops, got stuff going on up here. Okay, sorry about that. Have some things here to the side in case we have a little bit more time on the video. So okay, so this one is already dry. I had done it before, so that way we can have one completely dry and go to the next process. Now I'm going to grab that other parchment paper, and actually I might switch it because now I'm going to do the frosting. Let's see, I'll do it this way because we want to do the decorating, and I want to make sure it doesn't stick to anything. So when you do the parchment paper, then you don't have to worry about when we do that edging for the decoration, because it doesn't stick. It pulls right off on the parchment paper. And see, with doing the bottom, even the bottom looks cute. I know, silly me, right? Okay, so to do the decorating, you're going to need your spackle, your fast dry, and you're going to need your paint if you're going to need to make it whiter. Now to give it the texture that I have, and I'll show you, because sometimes with the paint, the light latex, the Fast Dry Latex gets a little bit more liquidy. That's why I use it for the cake pops. So I would add a little bit of the spackle sometimes just to mix it in. But you can use, so you won't have to buy both if you don't need to. You can use some flour to make it thicker. And if you do make it too thick, then you can add a little bit of water or a little bit more of the paint, depending on if you're trying to work on a specific color or not. Now, if you haven't done the color before, I would suggest putting a little bit on the side of your mixture and letting it dry, because it does dry darker. That way you won't have a surprise. You get everything done and get everything decorated and then it's not the color you want. So keep that in mind. Now for the frosting, we're gonna go ahead and, I don't know why I just lost the name of that again. A little it's my Spanglish, y'all. I can think of it in Spanish. But we're gonna go ahead and just put it in here. And this is the tip that I use. I'm gonna hold it up closer to the top camera. So it's the open star. It's one of the big ones. I think it's an M, 1M. And once you fill it in, then we can go ahead and start decorating. So I just had it to the side with a little damp paper towel, a little bit damp with water, just to make sure that it didn't dry on the tip. I'm gonna go ahead and put this away and get it out of our way here. And I'm not throwing that on the floor, just in case you're wondering. I do have a trash can down there. If you're able to see that on the camera. Have a big trash can under the table. Okay, so to decorate, again, it is just like decorating a cake. Now, I am not an expert cake decorator. But hey, we just have fun with it, right? So we're going to start on our bottom, and you could put a piece of tape on the bottom to kind of hold it in place, or you could just press on it. That's why I like having the cardboard, and I'm actually going to do that just so I can show you how I do it. Where's my tape? Okay, that way it won't move on you as you are decorating it. So you could just put a little bit of tape. I don't suggest doing the hot glue, because then it will stick to the bottom of your cake. It'll still come off. It should still come off of your parchment paper, but then you're gonna have that stuck on your cake. The tape will come right off, but it'll still help hold it in place some. Okay, on to decorating. So I'm gonna do the bottom first, and see, now it does a little topsy-turvy, but it stays on there. Okay, so that way you can do the decorating. Now you can still hold it down with a thumb and then do the spreading of your frosting however you need to, but we want to make sure that we're more on the cake than on the cardboard. So see, can you see it this? I'm trying to hold it in a way that you can see it on the camera. Okay, there we go. And you can do the shape however you'd like, whatever you're comfortable with. If you want to do just straight through, you can. Again, it's based on your preference. I just like doing a little bit of the in and out just to give it more of a shape. We have any expert cake decorators out there? I don't know if my friend, sister in Christ is watching, LaDonna. Give us some tips on decorating. Decorating the cakes. But this is just the way I do it because I'm not an expert. But I enjoy making these. And what I like is, just like with cakes, if you're not an expert baker, they don't always come out exactly the same, right? They're not all exactly perfect on all sides and everything else. So why should a fake one look perfect? That's just my opinion. So there it is. We have all sides covered. So since that is drying and what we're doing on top will not affect it in any way, we can also decorate our top because our top is dry. So I did just little circles on each corner for for this cake, for the strawberry cake. So we're going to go ahead and do the same, and then we're going to go ahead and put our strawberries in. So I just did a little circle on each corner. So that's all we're going to do here. Just do a little circle. Okay, and then grab your strawberry, or if you're going to do a different flavor, of course, different fruit, you can get that type of fruit and then put it in there. And I'm just going to put the green towards the outside and just going to dab that in right in the middle. Okay, going on to the next corner. And you can wait until after you do all 4 corners, but remember that this is a fast drying latex. So depending on how long it takes you, or if you get interrupted, depending on what might be going on, it might dry on you before you can put your strawberry in, and then you have to do maybe some Mod Podge or add more spackle or frosting, your fake frosting or something of that nature, to be able to get it on there. So it's better to do it while you're sure it's still wet, so that way it'll grab it in place. And just push down a little bit so it'll stick to the actual cake as you're putting that frosting in there. It still doesn't stick, do what I do. Just gonna try to hold it. There we go. And it should move, but then once you press it down with the strawberry, it'll stay in place. And then once it dries, it'll just stay. Okay, onto the middle. Now you can also just do the corners. It's entirely up to you. All right, put this back under the damp paper towel, and there's the cake. Isn't it cute? So then you just let it all dry. Again, I would just suggest maybe 24 hours. Just leave it there overnight. Don't touch it. Don't let anybody else touch it. Put it in a place where there's not going to be anything that might get on it, because then if it gets on it while it's still wet, it is going to stick to it. So we just leave it alone for the 24 hours. And then if you'd like I did with this one, I used some Mod Podge. You can use the matted or you can use the gloss, depending on your preference, and just kind of put that all over just to kind of cure it and give it some protection so it won't be peeling and all of that. So that is our strawberry cake. So I'm going to change the view again just so that we can see each other. Hello. So that is it for making the strawberry cake. So quick and easy, didn't actually take that long. So so you can do these fairly easy. Make it a fake bake party. So since we do have if you like, we do have some time, we can go ahead and do a little bit more, so I can show you just a couple of more things. I want to show you these brownies. Let me see if I can I did them in different, with a different ice cream, which is also made with the spackle, by the way. And I actually still need to make my little frosting on the top, the little cream, and then do the cherry on top. So I'm still working on those, but that's something else we can make together, and I'll show you. It takes a little bit longer to do the ice cream part because we have to do a little bit more mixing with the flour, excuse me, to give it that texture. And then of course with our little chocolate on top and all of that. So this is something else that we could also make together. So I'll make another video, or maybe go live making that at another date. But just wanted to show you how cute they are. Aren't they cute? We could also make some cupcakes, and I can show you how to make that. So I'll show you some cupcakes, and then just let me know on the poll, or just by way of comment, what you like to see next. These are some cupcakes that I've made. Now this is one with the lemon. Kind of hold it up. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe I need to change to the top view. This is one for St. Patrick's. It's had some glitter, and you can see the cake on the bottom. So we can do some of that. Could also do it with of course they gotta have the coin. And I did a little bit more glitter on this one, and some little sprinkles that we put together. We're actually making some sprinkles today. And I'll show on another video how to make that. But I just thought these were just so cute. So we can make some of that as well. So I just wanted to show you the different options we have for things that we can make as a fake bake. But I do hope you enjoyed the video and the premiere on making the strawberry cake, and hopefully you get to join me again on another one. Let me know what you like the best, or if you what you would like to see next when we go on when we go live. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope we get to hear from you. Please make sure you have some comments. If you have any questions on anything, please let me know, and we'll see you again next time. I'll make sure to put an invite out so that you'll know when we're coming back out and doing another quick live or a video premiere. And stay safe out there. Stay liquid. Bye-bye.